Good afternoon. I am delighted to welcome you to the DSPD DESA Forum on Disability Inclusive Humanitarian Action, convened in conjunction with the World Humanitarian Summit. DSPD is the Division for Social Policy and Development at the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Now, this forum is intended as a platform for dialogue on disability inclusive humanitarian action. This forum is one of a series of fora on disability and development initiated by the Division for Social Policy and Development of the UN DESA. And I have to say that it has been beautifully organized by the Secretariat for the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities of the division I have the honor to lead. It is an initiative that began 3 years ago, this idea of having a forum, which aims to contribute to the collective endeavors of the international community to advance inclusive development from the disability perspective by, I would say, facilitating policy dialogue and the exchange of knowledge, ideas, expertise, and successful solutions on a range of issues. And this time, the forum is held in Istanbul, with the aim of bringing together technical experts and practitioners in the field of disability, in the field of development, and humanitarian responses. You see, persons with disabilities are among the most marginalized in emerging situations, and this forum provides a space for building dialogue around solutions and for sharing good practices, to identify which gaps need to be reduced to ensure the humanitarian efforts and to ensure that they are accessible and inclusive, ensure that they are meant also for persons with disabilities. The forum wants to explore ways to overcome cultural and attitudinal barriers that block access to essential services in emerging response situations. As we know, humanitarian aid and action are material or logistical assistance provided for humanitarian purposes, typically in responses to humanitarian crises, including natural disasters and man-made disasters like armed conflicts. And the primary objective of humanitarian aid and actions is to save lives, to alleviate suffering, and maintain human dignity. With the 2030 Agenda in place, the world has a plan of action for people, the planet, and for prosperity. The 2030 Agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals also seek to strengthen universal peace in larger freedom. So, humanitarian action in proactive humanitarian crisis plays a strategic role in eradicating poverty in all its forms and dimensions, including extreme poverty and inequalities. See, poverty and inequalities are the greatest global challenges to be solved for sustainable development in a world that leaves no one behind. And persons with disabilities are disproportionately affected in situations of risk and humanitarian emergencies and face multiple barriers in accessing protection and humanitarian assistance. Why does this happen? What can we do to change this reality? I believe this forum provides a space to build on existing dialogue around these two questions and for exploring and developing workable situations to this problematic truth. We are here today to share your experience and answer these questions. We are here to share ideas across a variety of stakeholders. We will hear and learn from the personal experiences of those who are living through crises, from civil society, advocates, and humanitarian actors, from the United Nations officials, policymakers, donors, and practitioners. The perspectives will be many, and in this context, the forum will highlight the importance of including persons with disabilities and their representative organizations in all stages of crisis preparedness and response decision-making and coordination. In our dialogue today, we are not starting from scratch. Already the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities calls for specific action to protect and to promote the rights of persons with disabilities in conflict and crisis situations. Last year, at the Third World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, stakeholders reiterated this point. The Sendai framework on disaster risk reduction stresses the necessity to empower persons with disabilities at all stages of disaster mitigation and management, and to promote universally accessible responses. As the international community looks to strengthen the attention to humanitarian action, the inclusion of persons with disabilities must again be emphasized. We hope that this forum will contribute to a lasting multi-stakeholder partnership for disability-inclusive humanitarian action. And I really thank you very much for your efforts and for all the thoughts, passion, and knowledge you are going to share with us today.